Hello YouTube, welcome back to my channel. I am going to be continuing my technology themed month through March because I did not get to finish it in February just due to a lot of personal stuff going on in my life. I just didn't have the time to film the videos, unfortunately. So I'm going to be continuing it through the end of March, which is actually good because I came up with a couple more ideas that I wanted to add to it anyway. So it's probably a good idea that I did that. So today's video is going to be all about how I use Screencastify and some ideas that I have for it. And my dog's in the background. No? Okay, bye. I'm going to share some ideas that I have and some ways that I use it, and then hopefully encourage you to use it in your classroom as well. So if you're interested in Screencastify, just keep watching. So if you watched my top 5 websites for the classroom, you would have seen that Screencastify was one of my top websites. Although it's technically not a website, it is an extension on your browser. I have it on the Chrome, on Google Chrome. Google Chrome browser? That's right? Why does that not sound right? I think that's right. And I'm pretty sure other browsers probably have it as well, but if not, you could always just use the Chrome browser and just do it that way. But it is an extension, so you go up to the corner and go to extensions, and then you just download it, and then it'll be like a little thing up in the right hand corner of your screen. And when you want to use it, you'll just click it on and then click to record your screen. So it is basically a recording system. I guess you would call it, I don't know. You can basically record your screen on your computer and then add your voice to it and everything like that. And it's really good, awesome for the classroom for so many different reasons. You can also film yourself, I believe. I've never actually used that feature on it. I've never felt the need to. Just having my voice and having the screen has always been enough, but I do believe you can do that as well. Screencastify is a completely free website or extension, but if you want the pro version, it is paid. I have no idea how much it is. I think with the non-paid version, the only difference maybe is that you can only film up to 10 minutes. But like I said, I've never needed to film more than 10 minutes, so it hasn't been an issue for me. I think one time ever that I filmed a video, have I even gotten close to the 10 minutes? Other than that, my videos are very short and quick, so I haven't needed to. So just to share some ideas about how I use it in my classroom is the first thing is, one of the major things is I use it for my spelling tests every week. So I film my spelling tests, I just film myself, I just have something on the screen. This part on the screen for this doesn't really matter. It's more just my voice. I guess this is one where I could film myself doing it, but at the same time I'm I'll just film my screen, I don't know, not moving. I usually pull up a Google slide and just type in what spelling test it is, so that on the front picture of it I can see as well what it was, so I know for later on when I want to use that video again. But anyway, I read off the words to the students and then they just watch the video to take the spelling test. I hate giving spelling tests because it's just a really frustrating thing, because you've got kids who are on number 1 and then somehow they didn't catch all the words. So it really makes it nice because they can go back and they don't feel like they have to rush. Sometimes with a spelling test, I felt like I was rushing kids to try and get done, and they can feel like they can just do it on their own time because they can rewatch the video as many times as they want. They can pause it, write the word, decide how to spell it, etc. So I think it just saves them or just makes it easier on them personally. And then it also makes it easier on me because earlier in the year I did have 2 different levels of spelling, and so rather than giving 2 different spelling tests, I just filmed 2 videos and then I assign it to those students and those students, and it just saves me that time, and then I can be working on something else while they're all doing their spelling test, and then we all kind of come back and reconvene. So it just makes it a lot easier. And then now I have these videos for next year, so I should be able to just reuse them. So next year I won't have to take the time to film them. Not that it takes me that long, but it is something that I won't have to do. So that's one really nice thing is once you kind of start getting a bank of videos, it's stuff that you can reuse year after year, especially if you're just doing it to teach a lesson. It's something that you can just keep and assign to students the next year, and then you don't have to remake all this stuff. It's also pretty nice because if you and your team share like your items, then one of you could film the video and kind of share it with other people, which would also like save you guys time. But the way you could use it with teaching a lesson is if I have something that's super short and quick and it doesn't really need a lot of instruction, it basically just needs like a little bit of instruction, or like not even instruction, like direction on what to do. Maybe it's a review, or maybe it's like I have one group who pretty much knows how to do it, so I'm just going to give them a quick instruction using the video, and then maybe I'm going to pull another group to do more of like a reteach and a really in-depth instruction. I'm really big on, if you know something, I'm not going to waste my time. I'm not going to waste your time teaching it to you. So I'd rather like do something to enrich you. So that's a time where you could do a really good enrichment activity with students who already get it, by filming a video and letting them kind of go off and do it on their own. So I'll film like super short, quick videos that I can assign to students that basically just teaches them a skill. And I may have like the worksheet that they're working on the screen, and I'm kind of doing it with them almost. And then they have their paper, they're doing it on their own. I don't do this like all the time, but it is something, it does make it easy to like do an activity with a group of kids and not have to be there. Like you can literally be in two places at once and teach two separate groups at once, two completely different things, which is really, really awesome because some kids just simply don't need your guidance for every activity. We all have those kids who can just kind of run with it, and it's kind of cool to let them just run with it and see how it goes. So I do think that that's pretty awesome. And then you're able to differentiate a lot more. Another way that I use it is kind of, that's the sort of my like flipped classroom way. It's not super flipped classroom, but a flipped classroom would be essentially that you're filming your videos, you're filming all your instruction, the kids would go home and watch it, and then they would come back to class the next day and be ready to do some sort of project with it, do some sort of work with it. So basically they already come to class with the knowledge that they need, rather than wasting time on the instruction side of it. You could not waste time, but you get to use your time a little bit more wisely on like using it in context and actually like working with whatever the instruction was. I personally don't do that, and I don't think it's something that I would want to do in second grade. It's just not like, I don't think it would work. It also wouldn't work for me because I don't have, or my kids don't take their Chromebooks home, and I know a lot of them don't have internet access at home that they can go on to like their Google account, and it's kind of difficult to access their Google account through another computer for their school account, and that's where everything would be. So it just makes it easier. But if you did have like a high school class, I think that that would be an awesome thing, and it kind of almost prepares them for like the college setting, because you're in college, you're required to, you know, go home and read the material, come back to class and be ready to talk about it. So I do think that would prepare them for like later on a lot better. And that's another one of those things where you can kind of differentiate a little bit as well. I also like to film things that, I like to film instructions. So if I have instructions on an activity and I don't want to have to repeat the instructions 100 times, I may just film like an instruction video or direction video, and so then they can go back, and if they missed a step of something, they can go back and like listen to what the instructions were really quickly, and then I don't have to be asked if I'm like trying to test or I'm trying to do something and I don't want the kids to come over and bug me about it. I can just quickly film a video that kind of lets them know what they're supposed to be doing. I also have videos that my students are required to watch every single day. So I have like some sounds and blends video that my partner made, and my kids, a group of my kids watch those every single day. They just have them in the classroom, and it's something they can access each day. They know where to find it, and once it was filmed once, it doesn't have to be filmed again. So anything that you may need your kids to watch every single day or like on a regular basis is also a really great idea for that. Now, some ideas that I have that I don't necessarily use that in this way, but I do think it would be cool, is to have a listening center. So if you teach, you know, kindergarten, first grade, and you do listening centers, you could basically do any book for a listening center, because you can just film yourself reading it. And a lot of times you can find, you know, the book maybe online, and you could actually have like the book open and create a really awesome listening center, I think. Like I said, I don't use that in my classroom, but I do think that would be a cool idea. I also have used it in the past. I haven't used it this year for this, but I have used it in the past for students to be able to film videos themselves, and then those videos can be used to show me their understanding. They can use them to basically teach another student. Like if I find that their video is really helpful, I will send it to other students so that they can access that information and they can kind of teach each other, because that's really, really powerful for you to kind of have that peer tutoring. The kids love it, and it's, like I said, it's a really powerful thing for them. I also think it would be great to film like math concepts in particular, so that parents could access these videos as well. So if you have since Common Core math is a lot different than kind of the way we were all taught, a lot of parents really struggle with it, and they want to teach them the way that they know, which ends up confusing the child a lot of times, and it creates problems at home, you know, parents fighting with their kids about homework. So I think it would be really cool to be able to film a quick video kind of showing the parent the strategy and the way that we use it, and kind of maybe quickly explaining why we do that, because a lot of it makes sense. It's just, you know, for parents it's hard to see, like, they understood it one way and they don't understand why they can't just learn it that way again. But since Common Core is a lot more like conceptual and understanding, you know, the reason as to why, I think parents might benefit from being able to be explained the strategy and how to use it and how to teach it to their child. So those are all the ways that I use Screencastify, and some of the ways that I think you could use Screencastify and it would be a great tool for your classroom. If you've already used Screencastify and you've done stuff with it, I want you to leave a comment down below letting me know what you use it for. And if you've never used Screencastify but you've got some ideas flowing in your mind, also leave a comment down below, because I'm always looking for new ways to use Screencastify, because it's one of my favorite tools for the classroom. I just think there's so much you can do with it, and it just makes, you know, differentiating between students a lot easier, and it kind of makes your life easier. You have to use time like after school, but it does make your life easier for following years because you already have stuff filmed. If you enjoyed this video, make sure you give it a thumbs up, and if you haven't already subscribed, make sure you subscribe to my channel for future tips and tricks, and I will catch you guys in my next video.